Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Mopar Man here. I'm out here this morning, early when it's still cool before it gets really hot today. I got to be at work by 2, but anyway, I'm going to do a part 1 video on this today. I've already pretty much got everything done, and it's just got to be mounted on the truck and welded up. It's going to be part 1 anyway. Let me just show you what I got. So anyway, as I mentioned a while back, on this 2000 Chevy Silverado 1500 LS with the 4.8 liter engine, it's got the factory restrictive heat trapping muffler, which is a piece of junk. We're going to try to see if we can get a little bit more horsepower, a little bit more fuel economy out of this, since it's so restrictive in that muffler. I'll put a link in the channel to an actual muffler shop's video, and he can go into detail about the stock mufflers that they pretty much use on Ford, Chevys, and Mopars and stuff. But anyway, had the muffler that's on there now, from the case to the other side of the case, is 25.5 inches long. This one, before I welded the O'Reilly exhaust extensions on, was 20. From here to here was 20. I added these extensions on and brought them out past so it would be longer than 25.5. Whether I need to cut the sections off, or I'll just cut the pipe off where this needs to be mounted. But anyway, we're going to run the factory exhaust, which is a Y pipe that goes down into a high flow single pipe, which is 2 3/4 outer diameter. This here is 2.5 all the way through. And but anyway, on this muffler, it's got a triangular divider here and a triangular divider here, and then it's got halfway through the muffler on each side, it's got perforated wall with of sheet metal with perforated holes all through it, and then it's got real coarse steel wool, and then it's just packed completely full of really coarse fiberglass on each side. I had one of these mufflers years ago, and I cut a hole in one of them to take out a lot of the extra, because they're kind of heavy with all that packing in there, surprisingly for a muffler. But anyway, this side and this side, I was able to cut about a quarter-size hole out and take a coat hanger and dig a lot of that out. Just one muffler I filled up, and it was completely compacted full. One Walmart bag full of fiberglass out of just one of these mufflers. So I had 2 bags because I had 2 of these mufflers, and then I welded a patch back up. But anyway, I sold those mufflers to a buddy of mine that's going to put them on his van, his Dodge van. But anyway, this one, the back on these Chevys are offset, and then the coming in is straight in. Pretty much no flow restrictions. It's supposed to have a nice rumble, but not too loud. And it won't have that glass pack sound. And one guy that actually had a Chevy pickup like this, but a little bit earlier version, with the 4.8 liter in it, said that very little noise in the cab and mostly out the exhaust pipe back here. You want to see how somebody cob jobbed this exhaust back here. Here's the I don't know if this is factory, if they took this off another truck to get the exhaust to go all the way out the back, pipe out the back, but look at that cob job. You've got this gigantic exhaust pipe, and then this much smaller pipe. And let me put the light on. I don't know if you can see that. I can't see it from here, but maybe you can see it better since I have the phone up there at an angle looking at it. And it's just, yeah, it's like crap. And what I'll probably end up doing is we'll finish running this exhaust pipe for now. When I cut it off, weld it up to this pipe. But if my mom, because this is my folks' vehicle, if my mom and dad, or, well, my dad's not here right now, but anyway, feel that it's still a little too loud, especially coming out the side of the truck, I'll reposition a couple sections of pipe to come down and come straight out the back. And then what I'll do is I'll either use this existing pipe and cut a section off and make a homemade resonator tube. Like I did a video quite a long time ago in my archives where I made a couple homemade chrome. I took a couple chrome echo tips and converted them into resonators for my Dodge pickup. But anyway, if you want to see another video of me, how I go about making them, let me know in the comment section. Otherwise, you can check out my old video for my 82 Dodge pickup for the chrome tips. But yeah, there's that piece of crap muffler. It looks like it's getting ready to rot out from the bottom. And like I said, very restrictive. One section of the muffler retains a lot of the heat, gets cherry red, almost cherry red. And that's what a lot of people are worried about. They were worried about the catalytic converters catching grass on fire, but a lot of times it's these mufflers in a certain spot, either this spot back here or the very front chamber that gets really hot. And if you got grass, dry grass brushing up against it, it'll catch fire. Because that same let's see here, that same muffler shop that has a lot of videos on YouTube, he had to do an exhaust work for local fire department for their vehicle, and they're worried about, because the truck or whatever sat a little bit low, worried about the catalytic converters and whatnot catching brush and stuff underneath the vehicle on fire. And he said it's not really too much the catalytic converters, as long as you got a high flowing exhaust, they don't get too hot. But when you start getting a restrictive exhaust, they can possibly heat up. But most of the time it's the muffler that actually sits down further underneath the vehicle, closer to the ground, that actually has a real hot spot in it, and that's what usually causes that stuff. But anyway, we're just doing this to save some money, because a muffler shop about 30-40 miles south of us that has a lot cheaper prices than Branson or Springfield, Missouri, etc. has. They just to cut the muffler off and weld a new one. If we brought ours and welded it back on, they are going to charge us $150 some dollars, and I think that included labor or whatever. But anyway, but I only spent 40 some bucks on the muffler, free shipping, and then and it's a Cherry Bomb Vortex muffler, and I think somewhere between $2 and $4 a piece for those exhaust extensions, and then the rest was just stuff I've already had at the house, like the welder and whatnot. But anyway, the part 2, I'll be cutting the muffler off and then welding the new one on, and I'll do a before and after the sound, so you guys get an idea what they. And keep in mind, when mufflers have packing in them, if it's a daily driver, it's going to take anywhere from 500 to 1,000 miles to break the muffler in, because the packing's in there tight, brand new. But when the heat heats it up, and then it cools down, heats up, cools down, and then all the exhaust gases and stuff that go through there
will eventually cause that packing to shrink some, and which opens up the muffler a little bit, and the tone will change to a little bit more, instead of being quiet to just a little bit more noisy. But if you've got a vehicle that you just maybe take out on the weekends and put a couple miles on it, it'll take quite a while, unless it's like in a lot of stop and go traffic. But it'll take quite a while for the packing to actually break in and adjust the sound. And what which was funny is I heard one guy on a YouTube channel one time talk about how, uh, or maybe it was on Facebook on one of the Mopar car groups or something. Talk about how he just got Flowmasters on and he's gonna drive it for 500 or 1,000 miles, and so the sound might change up a little bit. And if you know anything about Flowmasters, which is just the regular like Super 40 or 40 series Flowmasters, or any of the 50s, stuff like that, even the what is it, the Thrush um, canister muffler looks like a Flowmaster. Any of them knockoffs like that, there's no packing in them. Once you put them on, the sound stays the same. Now, the only difference you can do to cut out the resonation out of the cab, that sort of thing, especially at certain RPMs, is about 4 to 6 inches in front of the muffler on the top of the exhaust pipe. You can cut a hole out and then take a piece of pipe, exhaust pipe that's got kind of a J shape in it, almost not with the complete hook, but a half of curved section. Weld that on the top of the pipe, and then at the end of that curved but yet that kind of J-shaped pipe, you cap the other end off. And what that does is, it's already been tested. It acts as a resonation noise cancellation type tube. You can do that, or if you're running like on these Chevy pickups where they have the two pipes come down and uh, neck into one single pipe, or if you want to do duals, you can use a X pipe connection. That same guy on that muffler shop I'll post a link to, he calls it a pulse, exhaust pulse slash resonance cancellation pipe fitting, whatever he says he calls it. But anyway, it's basically it cancels out the resonation in the exhaust, or the pulses that causes the excess noise in your ear when you're driving at certain RPMs. But either or, you can do that. And on a lot of his videos, he does put them for single or high flow dual exhaust. He'll put that little X pipe in there to help with that, with the flow and the cancellation of the excess noises that are in your ear when you're going down the highway. But anyway, I rambled on long enough. Hope you enjoyed this video, and once again, but anyway, like I said, we're putting this muffler on to help out a little bit. I'm not planning on gigantic gains, massive horsepower, and all this other stuff, but it's going to help out a little bit, especially with gas mileage. You get the idea. And it's low budget. That's what this channel is all about out there. Hopefully this helps somebody else, not only in the Mopar community I'm part of, but Ford, Chevy, whatever. Anyway, stay tuned for more content. Until next time, take care.